welcome to Tsukiji Hongwanji Buddhist Temple. Please join me in Gassho. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Thank you for coming to the Saturday English service. First, we would like to begin the service by reciting the aspiration, which can be found on page 2 in the blue service book.
Reverently, we come before the shrine of our Amida Buddha, the Holy One, the Perfect One. With gratitude, we have brought our offering of love and devotion to honor the Buddha. We earnestly resolve to strive to understand the holy teaching and to walk every day in the blessed path, so that, like the Buddha, may we attain the peace of nirvana. Namanda, 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 namanda.
We will chant the sutra, Juseige. Please turn to page 3 of the blue service book.
Namanda, Bunamanda, 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 Namanda. Namanda. Pagum Chosegan Hishimu Yodo Shigan Fumanzo Sefu Joshogan Raome Ryoko Huidai Seshe Usai Shabinge Sefu Joshogan Gashi Jobutno Myosho Chojippo Kutyo Nishomo Sefu Joshogan Ryokujin Shonen Joe Shibonyo Shigeme Jado Isho Tenninshi Jindeki Endaiko Fushome Saigo Shoujo Sankumyo Kosai Shuyakunam Kaihi Chiegen Neshi Komoam Heisoku Shoakudo Tsubatten Shumon Koso Jomanzo 月十時期天候不言一種解放像公正国法上大集中説法四式供養一切目下足習得法願念信条魔得意三愛を女分無下地津田に不詳願学恵美都市最小尊志願略国家内戦を感動大具商店に東神妙典ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ乱にしく読平等性際老の大師往生安楽ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマン
We will now sing the Gatha Shinshu anthem, found on page 5 in the Blue Service Book. Congregation, please rise. Please remain standing for the recitation of the three treasures found on page 4 in the blue service book.
Form. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us, with sincerity and true reverence, take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together with all sentient beings, awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we, together with all sentient beings, become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Please be seated. This evening, we are so happy to have Reverend Kumahara Kana, Minister of Shozenji Temple in Saitama, as our guest speaker. Kumahara Sensei will talk on being raised by the Buddha's teachings. I'm glad to introduce Kumahara Sensei to you.
It's not on love, 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 it's not on love. Not on love, it's not on love. Not on love, it's not on love, not on love. Now please join me in Gassho. When sentient beings in the various forms of existence throughout the 10 quarters, on hearing Amida's name of transcendent virtues, come to attain true and real Shinjin, they greatly rejoice at what they have heard. When sentient beings in the various forms of existence throughout the 10 quarters, on hearing Amida's name of transcendent virtues, come to attain true and real Shinjin, they greatly rejoice at what they have heard. Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Good evening, everyone. Since I heard we have this film, so I can take off the mask. If anybody worried about will take off the mask, then I won't do it. But everybody's okay about it? Okay, thank you. Okay, it's kind of getting shy to take off the masks. So, okay, this is my face. So, okay. Welcome everyone to the service, and thank you so much for coming. Well, it's not too cold today, but yesterday and day before yesterday was so cold, and I don't like cold, so I was like, Saturday, please don't get cold. But so today it's not that much cold. So, but thank you for coming anyway. I'm Kana Kumahara from Shozenji Temple. I've talked at this service twice before, and it was pre-recorded and delivered through Tsukiji Hongwanji's YouTube channel. So today, actually, this is my very first time that I have a chance to talk in here in person. So this is so nervous. So I usually speak in front as the MC, but today I will be your speaker. So like I said, as you might already know, that I'm very, very nervous. But it's going to be a short time for 40 minutes to 45 minutes, so I would like to talk about and listen to the Dharma talk about Amida Buddha and the Nembutsu of Namu Amida Butsu with everyone together. Also, I would like to use PowerPoint, which is this, and it's the PowerPoint, and with a little bit of Japanese, so that we can share the image easier, I hope. Okay, before getting into the Dharma talk, I would like to introduce myself just a little bit. Okay, well, I was born in Tokyo and raised in Saitama, Toda City, Saitama Prefecture. When I was in the middle grade at elementary school, it was my first time to learn English. Since then, English became one of my most favorite subjects. And I majored in English at high school and college. When I was a junior at college, I had the chance to study abroad as an exchange student for a year in the United States. This is the campus looks like. It's so big. Every class I have to go, of course I walk, or I can take the bus to go to the class because it's so big. And while I was there, I majored in English Communication Studies. And also, I tried to learn other religions. So I made a lot of friends. And one of my friends, this is her. Her name is Ali. She was religious in Christianity. And she always joined the Christian gathering at school and Sunday school at the local church at every weekend. At the Christian gathering, there were like a few students went up in front and they talked about their experiences, like how they had an encounter with Christ or when they felt the grace of Christianity. And there were like 50 students at the most, so many people, and we listened to their talk and said thank you, and of course we said thanks to God. After the gathering, she wanted to talk with me about each other's religions, and she said, I want to know your religion, Kana. Then I couldn't explain well because I didn't have adequate vocabulary to explain, and I was too focused on learning English and didn't even listen to Dharma talk at all. Then I felt really impatient, and I never forget that moment. This is the reason why I started to join this service to learn talking about Jodoshin Buddhism in English. After I graduated from college, I learned about Buddhism and Jodoshin Buddhism for 2 years at school in Kyoto, which is called Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin. And Shozenji Temple, that looks like Shozenji Temple, which I work for, located in Toda City, Saitama Prefecture. It takes about an hour to get here, Tsukiji Hongwanji, by train. My temple was established from the zero base by the president minister, who is my father, and my mother, as the actions which tries to establish a new temple at the area where there is no temple of Jodoshin Buddhism. It's called Toshikaikyo in Japanese. Thanks to all of our members, we have been able to active so far. Here tonight, there is one of our members, Mr. Ogawa-san. He always comes to our temple and joined our monthly service. Thank you so much. Always, thank you so much. And speaking of Toda City, there is a famous boat race track called Boat Race Toda. Do you know Boat Race Toda? Maybe no, maybe yes. Well, it's a big boat race track, and there are so many people coming to watch the race, especially on the weekend. I went there once or twice before and experienced how to drive the motorboat, the boat. It wasn't a big boat; it was a small boat, and I tried to drive it with an adult and on the water. So it was like it's kind of difficult to drive, but it was fun. It was fun. Anyway, and there is a famous fireworks festival. It's Toda Bridge Fireworks Festival. It's held at the same time with Itabashi World, Tokyo, which is next to each other across the Arakawa River. I used to go to Toda Bridge to watch closely, and so much fun every summer before it's canceled because of COVID. I have been indebted to Toda City since I was a child, and it's so comfortable to live in. I really love the city. By the way, the current city mayor graduated from same junior high school and high school as me, but that was long time before I enrolled in. He's much older than me. And he works really hard, and he tries to change the city to more comfortable to live in. If you get interested in Toda City now, after this Dharma talk, please look at the internet and searching Adomachi Tengoku Toda. It's a TV show which introduces 20 features of the city, and Toda City was on the show last January, and it was full of charm. It was fun, and well, of course, you all are always welcome to my temple. So please feel free to visit when you are in the city. Okay. Now, I would like to talk about the hymn from the Sacred Sutra, which I recited at the beginning, which is the source of today's theme, being raised by Buddha's teaching. Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodoshin Buddhism, wrote a vast number of books. And there are 3 series of hymns which are called 3 Buddhist verses, in Japanese, Sanjo Wasan. There are hymns of the Pure Land, hymns of the Pure Land Masters, and hymns of the Dharma ages. All these books comes to a total of 350 hymns. 350 hymns. That's a lot, I know, right? That's a lot. And there are Japanese hymns in 7 and 5 syllable meter, shichigocho, which are written in admiration of Amida Buddha and its attainment of enlightenment. The hymn which I recited at the beginning is 25th on the hymns of the Pure Land. As I said, Buddha's teaching in today's theme I would like it to emphasize mean仏縁 in Japanese.仏縁 means the connections or chances by Amida Buddha. Actually, there is a Japanese word that engi. It's using the same kanji, the en, they're using the same kanji, and engi means we are connected with so many people and things through living our daily life. And it's actually from the Buddhism. So in this Dharma talk, I would like to call Buddha's teaching as Butsuren. Listening Buddha's Dharma talk right now is due to Butsuren, and it's so precious and grateful. Now, I have a question. Do you listen to sutras or Dharma talk in your daily life? Well, for me, as a priest, it's a daily work for me, so it's a daily basis. But I don't know what happened if I didn't do this job. I may never have been able to visit Tsukiji Hongwanji Temple and listen to Dharma talk or sutra in this English service in my life like everyone here. But this time, I had an honor to listen to the Dharma talk together due to Butsuren. It isn't matter of course. It's so grateful thing. It isn't matter of course. It's so grateful thing. I don't know the circumstances of everyone here, but I think each of you are here by various engi or various butsuren, I think. If just a little bit thing was different, we weren't here as we are today. Don't you think so? If just a little thing was different, we weren't here as we are today. Thanks to Amida Buddha, I could realize that, and exactly due to Butsuren. Also, there are situations that I could realize the preciousness of each Butsuren while working my job. So I thought I would like to share them with you. That's why I decided today's theme as being raised by Amida Buddha's teaching. Okay, now the hymn will be our topic of discussion. Let's break it down, shall we? The hymn was when sentient beings in the various forms of existence throughout the 10 quarters, on hearing Amida's name of transcendent virtues, come to attain true and real Shinjin, they greatly rejoice at what they have heard. The first sentence of the 10 quarters, it expresses the 10 directions, which are 4 directions of north, south, west, east, plus northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, and top and bottom. And it's also same meaning as the various forms of existence as every. And sentient beings means living things. So, sentient beings in the various forms of existence throughout the 10 quarters can be interpretable as every living thing that has life. It doesn't mean not only human beings, but also animals or insects or etc., all things that which live in this world. Amida Buddha's working is definitely reaching to every lives equally. Since me as human beings, I don't see things as they are because I'm self-centered. So I can't see everything equally. Also, I don't realize that, and I live with taking it for granted. Therefore, I tend to have a real soft spot for things that I like, and on the other hand, I tend to keep things that I don't like at a distance. And I survive every day by taking various lives. What do you think that? We usually have meals without realizing that, and even be selfish by saying, oh, it's tasty, it's not tasty, 美味しい、美味しくない, even be selfish. So that's why at the meal in Japan, we say いただきます before eating, and ごちそうさま after eating to expressing thankful. There are words before meals and words after meals, which are one of the manners that Mother Temple Hongwanji said. Words before meals in English. We are truly grateful for this opportunity to share this wonderful meal thanks to all the many people and living beings that surround us who made this occasion possible. With deep gratitude, いただきます。Gassho. In Japanese, 多くの命と皆様のおかげによりこのごちそうを恵まれました。深くご恩を喜びありがたくいただきます。And words after meals in English. We are thankful for the wonderful meal which we had received. May our gratitude to Amida Buddha enable us to work even harder for the benefit of everyone. Thankfully, ごちそうさまでした。Gassho. In Japanese, 尊いお恵みを美味しくいただき、ますますご恩報謝に努めます。おかげでごちそうさまでした。I say these words every day at every meal wherever I eat. When I was in the States, some of my friends asked me what I was doing, and I taught them several times. Well, some of them said thanks to God before eating, and it was a good learning for me. We live each day by taking various lives to survive. So I think that expressing thankful is at least to show respect for all lives. Especially in Jodoshin Buddhism, saying these words shows as thankful and shame in regards to life. Thankful as thank you for every life and all engi. And shame as I'm sorry for taking lives to eat for survive. To survive. Now, continuing from the previous, the next phrase is on hearing Amida's name of transcendent virtues. Amida means Amida Buddha, of course, and the name of transcendent virtues expresses the vow of Namu Amida Butsu, the name of Amida Buddha, who is fully endowed virtue. Hearing means not only just listening, but also expressing true shinjin, which we attain that we don't need to doubt, or we listen to it as it is with no doubt. We don't need to doubt and listen to it as it is with no doubt means, for instance, when you ask someone and you receive the answer just as it is. But if you receive the answer and say, really, against the answer, it means that you have doubt, even just a bit in your mind. That's why you say, really. But in the other hand, you receive the answer just as it is and say, oh, I see, thanks. It's the way of listening to it just as it is. When Amida Buddha's virtue is fully reaching me as the shape of voice, it comes out as the Nembutsu of Namu Amida Butsu. And hearing that definitely shows there is no need to doubt. And listening to the Nembutsu, the Namu Amida Butsu, the name of Amida Buddha, who is fully endowed virtue as it is, shows attaining true shinjin. Now, the next phrase is come to attain true and real shinjin. True, in other words, genuine, not false, not temporary. False in here implies deceit or flattery. And real can be say not empty, not vain. So it doesn't mean that attaining self-reliance Shinjin. It expresses attaining other powers directing Shinjin by Amida Buddha. I haven't been able to see things as the way they are because I tend to see things from my own filters, and which are made by my thoughts and the values and etc. So it's from the filters. So that's why I can't see things as the way they are. However, I always think that I'm right and see things selfishly. So I'm untrue. The truth never changes no matter what, and no matter depends on the person. Just like the Detective K in the TV anime always says, there is always only one truth. I'm not him, so I can't say his voice. I think he's saying like that. And in Buddhism, the person who I am expressing as a foolish being, in Japanese, bonbu, there is a sentence which explains about it from the gaze of Amida Buddha. It's in the sacred sutra of the notes on one's calling and many calling. It says, we are full of ignorance and blind passion. Our desires are countless, and anger, wealth, jealousy, and envy are overwhelming, arising without pause, to the very last moment of life. They do not cease, or disappear, or exhaust themselves. As it said, our desire doesn't disappear until the very, very last moment of life. And we are calm, anger, sad, jealous, depends on the situation. When I'm on a train, I realize that a lot. For example, when I'm on a train, when I could catch a train with having enough time for appointments with my friend, even if the train stops for a few minutes, I usually keep reading my book. But if I get on the train that arrives just in time, if the train stops, even for just a minute, I tend to get irritated because I'm in a hurry. Right? I'm in a hurry. It's my fault that I didn't get on the train with having ample time, but I'm shifting my responsibility to the train. There is such a thing happened the other day, and I felt sorry when I came to my senses. There is a conductor and the people who manage the trains, rails, and stuff to keep train running, and people who make train stuff every day, and the people who deliver them to the stations. But I was taking it for granted and being so selfish. When I realized it, a feeling of remorse occurred to me. And at the same time, I felt grateful to仏縁, which made me realize because Amida Buddha's upbringing. In Jodoshin Buddhism, we cherish to listen to Dharma talk about Amida Buddha. When we listen to it, there are various realizations, and it makes to broaden the way of perceived things. It expresses as being raised. In Japanese, osodate. Okay? As I put the words being raised in today's theme, Amida Buddha is the subject, not me. Amida Buddha is always the subject, not me. Well, what did you think about the train station? You think, it's obvious, so what? You tend to get irritated, so am I. Or I don't know what you thought, but I don't know. I think some of you might think, it's obvious, so what? Okay, next. But I think that such a little realization are really important for us. When I talked about it with my father and mother, they said, "That's right. We tend to take a little realization for granted. But these things are the one that we have to ponder over." Then I agreed, they're right. And at the same time, I fully realized that I really see things as the way that I want it to be. Also, thankfully, I got a chance to realize it again. Come to attain true and real Shinjin can be interpretable that it's not I try to obtain Shinjin by my own power itself. It's when the Shinjin that I receive by Amida Buddha's power, which is the other power in Japanese Tariki, which is the truth that never changes no matter what and definitely delivers. Amida Buddha never changes no matter what. So, Amida Buddha is the truth. Amida Buddha is the truth. Amida Buddha always fully reaches here and now and working for me as the Nembutsu of Namu Amida Butsu all the time. Whenever, wherever, and whatever happens. It doesn't matter, I believe or not, I remember or I forget, it doesn't matter. Amida Buddha is the Buddha who fully reaches and will be lively for all living things. And at the last phrases, they greatly rejoice at what they have heard. I think have heard can be expressed as hear and trust to the origin of the name and listening and receiving the origin of the name of Namu Amida Butsu, which is made as the vow for me, who is right here and cannot get out of this world of confusion where I live in by my own power to save, and make me born in the Buddha's pure land of enlightenment. And its regard, as it say, the mind of trust. I live each day, I live every day in my way, so I don't even think that I'm getting lost. But from the Amida Buddha's view, I live in this world of confusion, which is this corrupt world of human beings. So I am the existence of confusion, Mayoi no Sonzai, who live without knowing how to resolve the life that I received and where this life goes, and live self-centered always. Amida Buddha is the Buddha who is the one with warm-hearted of salvation, who fully reaches and keeps working and working exactly for me, who is the purpose of salvation. Also, the greatly rejoice shows that it's a very pleasure thing. It's even written in double letters of Japanese kanji, which both means rejoice. This kanji, it both means rejoice. The sentient beings in the various forms of existence throughout the 10 quarters as they, and that's what I said, every living thing that has life. Then, what are they pleasure about? That's what I talked about so far. In short, when they could hear and trust Namu Amida Butsu just as it is, which is the name of Amida Buddha, who is fully endowed virtue, and receive true and real Shinjin with no doubt, they can't help but rejoice by hearing the origin of the name of Namu Amida Butsu was established as the vow of making them born in the Buddha's Pure Land and making them become a Buddha to save. Well, they means us, each of us. It's each of us, one by one, who is right here, right now, and cannot get out of this world of confusion by ourselves, no matter what. It's us. In the beginning, I said there were situations that I could realize the preciousness of each Butsuem. So now I would like to share two stories and I will conclude my Dharma talk. It's going to be 5 or 10 minutes, so it's going to end, so don't worry, okay? Okay, the first one was at the funeral last June. There was no one who recited the Nembutsu at the beginning of the wake, but there were few people recited the Nembutsu at the end. And when the funeral was over next day, the daughter, on behalf of the chief mourner was her mother, but her daughter was greeted at the end. She spoke through the Dharma talk at the wake that I spoke, and the booklet that I handed over her. It's Shibetsu no Kanashimi to Ikiru, the booklet. It's written by Naoki Nabeshima. She said, my father passed away, and I'm really sad. But I think that he is now the Buddha by Amida Buddha, and leading us right now. And also think that he will be the presence that illuminates our steps. She said that at the greeting. These words made me realize the importance and preciousness of Butsuin. And the second one was at the wake and the funeral last month. There was a boy who looked like a lower grade at elementary school joined the wake. And wake usually takes like 40 to 45 minutes. So even though it was an important wake for his great-grandmother, maybe it must have been boring him. That's why I heard he was asking his mother frequently, is this going to finish soon? When is this going to finish? Mother, mo owaranai no? Mother, I heard it a lot. But the next day, when the funeral began, and I started to chant the sutra, I heard his reciting like Namo Amida Bu again and again. I have experienced situations that there were some people recited the Nembutsu together at the same time. So it was my first time that I hear the Nembutsu during the sutra. I was surprised because he was saying, hey, it's not finished yet. When is this going to finish? But the next day, he's saying, Namo Amida Bu again and again. There is no people chant the sutra or Nembutsu at the same time, but he was like, Namo Amida Bu, and he walked around and said that. So I was so surprised and felt grateful. Maybe he just said what he heard, but it sure means that Amida Buddha fully reaches him and coming out from his mouth as the Nembutsu. Also, this time, it's truly evidence that his great-grandmother became the Buddha as the same as Amida Buddha by Amida Buddha and already reaches him and connect Butsuin with him. I realized how grateful Butsuin is while chanting the sutra. Every Buddhist memorial service I work daily for is important and precious Butsuin. Thanks to Amida Buddha, I'm being raised by each Butsuin, even though I decide things selfishly and cannot take them as the way they are, and I even live self-centered. However, Amida Buddha focused on me and doesn't evaluate me nor deny me. Amida Buddha now already holds me as I am and keep calling me with just leave it all to me. I'm definitely going to save you. By the shape of voice, which is the Nembutsu of Namo Amida Butsu, anytime, anywhere, right now, right here. Amida Buddha doesn't watch us from the far away. Amida Buddha is already with us right now. Amida Buddha is already with us right now. Amida Buddha works for all lives equally, no matter what. No matter how we live, or no matter how we die. When I think I'm going to recite the name Butsu, there is a certainly working of Amida Buddha to make me recite it. We are all definitely not alone and lonely all the time, whenever and wherever, and no matter what happens. When we hear and trust that we are already in the middle of salvation, all we can try to do our best in our daily life is cherish to each Butsuen and listen to Dharma talk of Amida Buddha's important words. Amida Buddha brings us up and leads us by walking through our life together. Both you and I strive our life with reciting the name Butsu of Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Well, thank you all for coming tonight. And even though I was so nervous, but you all are kind of smiling at me, and your eye, I can see your eyes, and your eyes are so kind. So it was good time for me, good experience for me. Thank you so much, and I hope I see you again. Thank you so much. Please join me in Gassho. Namanda Butsu, 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 Namanda.
Much Kumahara Sensei. We will now sing the gatha Namo Amida Butsu on page 6 in the blue service book. Congregation, please rise.
When life is fair and sunlight gives the day, when fortune smiles and flowers adorn our way, oft let us pause with grateful hearts to say, when comes temptation, ruling us to sin, when doubts and fears assail us from within, this we are praying, the victory shall win. Namu Amida Butsu. In your way, this is the darkened sky. Once pain and death draw nigh, our tears may flow, yet trust in
Please be seated. Let us recite together the Shinshu Creed found on page 2 in the same book. Followed will be the recitation of the benediction.
Please follow along. The Shinshu Creed. We single-heartedly take refuge upon Tathagata Amitabha for the enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teachings, and giving up the trust in our powerless self. We believe that the assurance of our rebirth comes at the very moment we are led to entrust upon the Buddha, and we call the name Namo Amida Butsu in happiness and thankfulness for the Buddha's great compassion. We also acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder and the succeeding masters who have led us to believe in this profound teaching, and we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down for us. Amida Buddha surrounds all men and all forms of life with infinite life and light. Particularly does the Buddha send forth loving thoughts to those in suffering and sorrow, to all those in doubt and ignorance, to all who are striving to attain truth, and to those whose feet are standing close to the great change men call death. Amida Buddha sends forth oceans of wisdom and compassion. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
We would like to thank you all for attending or watching today's Tsukiji Hongwanji English Dharma service. For those attending here in person, please take time to scan the QR code located near the entrance. For those watching online, please click on the link provided in the description field. We would appreciate if you could fill up the survey provided in the link and give us your feedback or views so that we can improve our services. The next service will be held on February 25th at 5:30 p.m. at the usual location, which is the Kodo Hall. The guest speaker will be Reverend Victoria Yoshimura, Minister and Bomori of Shozenji Temple in Miyazaki. And the topic will be an open heart and an open mind, living, loving, and learning with Jodo Shinshu. We look forward to seeing you again. Let us put our hands together in Gassho. Namandas, 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 namandas. Please feel free to offer incense at the entrance. Once again, thank you for coming to today's service. Thank you.